Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for August 17, 2022, the palm oil corruption case. And this story comes to us from Benar News, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News. An Indonesian businessman suspected of converting forests into palm oil plantations as a part of a mega corruption case was arrested upon his arrival in Malaysia on Monday after having been on the run for 8 years. Corruption involved the Duda Palma Group, a palm oil company belonging to Surya Darmadi. The suspect allegedly cost the state some $5.2 billion in potential losses, making it the biggest corruption case in the country's history, bigger than 1MDB. So, big corruption case in Southeast Asia. Next up, from Bloomberg, Nigeria is trying to get out of an $11 billion award against it from a company called Processes Industrial Developments, which secured a gas supply contract and then got an arbitration victory after Nigeria failed to honor the contract. The arbitration award was granted in 2017. Now Nigeria is trying to get out of it, claiming the original contract was based on bribery and corruption of an earlier Nigerian administration. So once again, we see bribery and corruption used as a defense in an arbitration award, this time by the Nigerian government trying to get out of paying an award. $11 billion obviously would be quite costly to the Nigerian government. They haven't introduced or put forward any evidence in the public sphere yet about what the bribery and corruption might do. But Nigeria said that P&I was in possession of numerous documents which would show that bribery and corruption were used. So it's going to be interesting to see if Nigeria can get out of this one. Next up, first up, 2 stories from Reuters. A group of exiled Venezuelan judges aligned with the Venezuelan opposition leader and U.S. ally Juan Guaido have hired the Brian Cave law firm to engage with U.S. officials about the effects of U.S. sanctions. The reason we know this is a FARA filing was made under the Foreign Agent Registration Act. Apparently, Brian Cave knows how to follow the law as opposed to most of the Republicans under the Trump administration who failed to do so under FARA. And finally, also from Reuters, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission says it's charged 3 individuals for illegally tipping and trading securities of Equifax before it announced its mammoth breach back in September of 2017. So yet more insider trading charges on the Equifax data breach front. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.